Anybody? Because people will tell you, I'll pay you back. But they are unable to pay you back. My cousin Larry Metlock got a statement that simply says this: if you can't afford to give it to him, don't lend it to him. I know William know that guy named Larry Metlock. Sometimes he get on all our nerves, but that's my cousin. I'm down with him because he don't bail me out a couple of times. Here we are in chapter number 7 of the book of Judges. Look at your neighbor and say, there's a problem. There are some people that's coming to take your stuff. Did y'all hear what I said? There's some what? People coming to take your stuff. These people were called the Amalekites and the Midianites. And what they did was they would come about the time that the crop was growing, and then they would just bring all of their sheep and goats and camels. Listen to the way that it is expressed. It said that they had camels that were like grasshoppers. They were like grasshoppers all over the place, and all they was doing is coming and taking your food and eating it up. And every time they would come with so many people that the children of Israel would get afraid. And sometimes that's what happens to us. That things will come in such an abundance till we become afraid that we can't win. Lord, help me today. See, sometimes we know that one can chase 1,000, but when it's just 4 or 5, we forget about the 1,000 because they're bigger than us. Can I talk to us this morning in a simplistic way and yet a strong way to let you know that you are more than a conqueror through Christ who what? Strengthened me. Here we are in chapter number 7, verse number 1. These words are hallowed. It says, then Zerubbabel, who is what? Gideon. And what? All the people that were what? Stop. Put a comma right there and put a stop right there, because see, everybody didn't go. Everybody didn't go. I'm going to talk to some of us this morning because, see, sometimes we procrastinate. We say, I would have come, but Did y'all get that? I was going to help, but I got to do this. I got to do that. But something else has came up. Can I help somebody this morning? Don't let nothing get between you and what God has for you to do. Because when we allow things to get in God's way, God will let things get in our way. So the story says, listen, never put off for this afternoon what you can do this morning. I was kind of having a conversation with God. God, why do we go to church so early in the morning? We should give God our first and our very best. Listen, you know the philosophy, and I didn't even comprehend it, Sister Jeffy. The fact is that, I thought we were just going to come, do what we had to do, and guess what? We got a couple of caveats here. Watch this. Don't y'all get mad at me, but I can still go to the football game because we done. I have done what God has asked me to do. I've come, I've praised him, I've served him. Now I can go to, watch it. Not only that, once you get through with us here this morning, you can go to the beach if you want. You got everything else that you want to do, but we did what first? We gave God first. So look at the text. It says, those that were with him rose up when? Early. And did what? Pitched beside the well of Haran. So that what? The host of the Midianites were on what? The north side of them, by the hill what? Moresh, in the valley. Now notice something that you got to do. If you're going to serve God, you got to get up when? Well, I like that. Well, y'all something else. Y'all not like Bishop, because Bishop would be arguing and wrestling with God, saying, when God wake me up about 2 o'clock in the morning, Paul, I don't stop it now. Because if he wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm not going back to sleep until I do what he say do. And I've learned that now, and you should learn that too. And those of you at home, when God wakes you up, it's not just to wake you up. There is a purpose. Thank you, ma'am. And so here we are. We're with this guy named what? We call him Zerubbabel, but we need to know why his name was changed to Zerubbabel, because in chapter number 6, we find out that he tore down Baal's groves. Whose groves are you going to tear down? Whose altar are you going to tear down? I said to us, and I didn't even comprehend what I was saying to us when we were in the 12 days of consecration, that we were going to tear down what? Strongholds. When the testimonies come, there's been some strongholds already torn down in here. Some beliefs have been changed. And let me say this to us. What we need to understand about when beliefs are coming and God is getting ready to do something great in your life, he will put something that is adversarial in front of you so that you don't have a choice but to trust him. Did we say something then? I think we said something then, because what you're looking at the problem, and God is saying, I've already solved the problem. I just need you to go into the problem. And so we find this man named Gideon, or Zerubbabel, that is now in a position where he what? Has to trust God like never before. And I may be a witness today to let you know that sometimes it's okay to ask God to show you a sign. Anybody ever ask God to show them a sign? You need to know sometime that you can ask God. This man asked God 3 things. First, he asked the angel not to leave till he blessed him. Secondly, he actually tells God, I want you to show me that it is you, God, by a fleece. Let the fleece be wet, and everything around you, around it, be what? Dry. Then he said, I don't mean to do anything hostile to you, but here's what I need you to do, God. Let the fleece be dry and everything around it be wet. And so now that he's got his marching orders, he gets some of y'all. And he said, come go with me. What are you saying, Bishop? I'm getting some of y'all. And come go with me. But watch what happens. I got too many of y'all. Are you with me? Here we are in verse number 2. It says, and the Lord said unto Gideon, the people that are with thee are what? It's the what? The text. You got how? You got too many. Watch this. The more people you think, then you begin to believe that it's you. Watch this. When me and Curtis Young and a young man by the name of Boo and Bobby, we were playing basketball and so forth, we thought we could really win. We thought we were bad. Matter of fact, William Hay, I got one of the best compliments yesterday that a guy said, Pop, we really took over the city, but you always had too much to do. Now, my sport was not basketball. I'm a baseball player, but I had one thing that I knew how to do, and that's to pass the ball. And sometimes you got to know when to what? Pass the ball. Watch this. Can I bring William here in the message this morning? Because, see, William will say, just give me the ball and I'll make it. All I had to do is not let somebody get the ball from me and pass the ball to the right person. Watch this. All I have to do is not let anybody take prayer away from me. And pass the prayer. Listen, can I pass the prayer behind my back? Huh? But a pass between the legs. As long as I do what? Pass the prayer. Instead of what? Some people hold the ball. Watch this. I'm not going to give William the ball because he'll make the basket and I won't look good. Can I help somebody this morning? Can I help you at home? See, You got to understand that if he makes the basket, you get an assist. Lord have mercy. See. Sometimes y'all, Brenda got it. Watch this. Can I bring the track stars into realization? If we are running a relay, if I don't pass the baton or drop, preach God, or drop the baton, we can still what? Win. If I don't drop the prayer. And watch this. This is what I love about God, Sister Dolores, is the fact that God don't need a lot of people praying. He just need the ones that's sincere and hard, the ones that are willing. Here we go. I'm almost, we got too many, but here we are in verse number 2. He said, you got too many for me to give the Midianites into what? Their hands, lest, watch this, lest, Griffin, I need you to hear me now, lest Israel vault themselves against me, saying, my own hand hath saved me. How many of you are saying today that it wasn't God that helped you? It was me because I was so smart. I told you we got too many smart people in the world. We got too many smart people that say, I don't need your help. I don't need nobody because I'm smarter than all y'all. Lest I get beside myself, I'm going to move on down here because I need to talk about a couple of things real quick, and then I'm going to go back to, we got too many friends. Williams, how you know about people got too many friends? Because the main thing we do once we got too many friends is we start calling friends. I need a favor. Instead of calling God, we start calling too many friends. Talking about, listen, I got this thing, but all I need is a few dollars. Can I talk up in here today? Uh-oh. Well, this one here will never be me. We got too much money. Do you know people change when they got some money? I'm talking. Verse number 2 say, God said you got too many people. And now because you got, what can I say it this way? You got people. Now all of a sudden you got too much money. Because everybody call you. But wait a minute. Oh, I had an epiphany, Sister Paula Megan. God said, I gave you that money so that you could be the lender and not the borrower. God, oh God. This ain't even the way the message is supposed to be going. But I just love it when God just take this thing and do what he want to do with it. Here we are. Can I mess with the intellectuals in the house today? You got too much knowledge. See, you going to tell God how to do it. Listen, you had so much knowledge that you knew your child needed to be saved, but you keep getting in God's way. Because you got too much knowledge. You God, save him like this. Save her like that. God, don't knock her down. I don't want to scar all up. I just want you to save her like I say save her. Not tomorrow. I want you to save her yesteryear. We got too much. Too much knowledge. Uh-oh. Watch out, Williams. Just don't you look at me that way. I'm just kidding with you. You know I love you. We got too much sense. Did y'all hear me? We got too much sense. Thank you, Sister Paula. All the sense in the world, because nobody can tell you nothing no more. You opening your mouth before it's time. Why don't you hush and listen sometime? You always got something to tell somebody else, but are you listening? You got too much sense. Ain't nobody, listen, I don't care who we are, bishop and all. Bishop don't know it all. God knows everything, but every now and then, if you would at least give God a chance, here we are in chapter number 2. You got too many people with you, because if you don't let me show you that I'm going to do this, can I call your attention to Gideon right back? Do you know that his army is really about 32,000 people? And he's thinking that ain't enough. And then God comes along and say, hey, you still got too many. Anybody been like that? You saying, God, I need, your light bill is $150. You got 25. And you telling God, but God, if I could just get the other 125, because see, I can call somebody who got, watch this, somebody don't realize that when you call somebody, now you become indebted. And they expect you to do what they say do. Don't give your authority to somebody else talking about you borrowing. Am I helping somebody today? I told you got too well, huh? You got too many. You got too many. They're going to say, we won. He says in verse number 3, now therefore go and proclaim or talk. Can I paraphrase verse number 3? He said, go tell the people, say, if you scared, go home. Well, I didn't want you with me no way, because if you scared, you know, you might hit me in the back of the head with a rock. You know, people do throw rocks and hide their head. Oh, I ain't hit you. Where you going to be in order? Usually, the ones in the front are the ones that get hurt first. Watch this. Have you ever seen somebody, you going for a battle and people start walking slow? Come, we in Black History Month. Come here, Martin Luther King. Did you ever notice Martin Luther that you was in the front and everybody was walking pretty slow? Andrew Young. Y'all know Andrew Young. Andrew Young said his job wasn't even supposed to be out there on the lines walking. He was supposed to be a thinker, strategically planning. And the guy from Savannah talked him into going out there, and he got beat up. Sometimes you got to just do what? Your job. Quit trying to do everybody else's job. Are y'all with me? Here we are. Here we are. Tell them if they're fearful, go home. And they'll return from the 20 and 2,000. How many we got now? I told you it was 32,000. We got 10,000 left. And watch this. Here's the mindset. Can I talk for him? Because I'm not him, but I can talk for him. Man, God, I thought you wanted us to win this. Can I help us today? Look at your neighbor and say, first, number one, we on the high ground. Do you know what the high ground means? That means you praying. Y'all missed that. Where are they? In the valley. They're below us. So we up here praying because we don't got stripped of 22,000 people. And they like the grasshoppers down there. Watch one illustration that they say about these people in the talk of them is the fact they had so many camels that the camels, you couldn't even count them. The camels was so many that they compared to him. Y'all remember when God was talking to Abraham and told him his seed was going to be like the stars and like the sand on the sea? That's the way they compare these people. Griffin, you think you can whip them? I come by to let you know you can't beat them like that. See, God wants you to know that what you've been, can I talk to us today? Camera people, you know, Treem, we talking to you too, but I need Lighthouse to know we don't need a lot of people to win with God. You see, when we can get crazy and think God can do anything, then we'll start asking Jaden to pray for Sister Chatfield. When we begin to believe God, we'll just believe God to remove pain. When we begin to believe God, we just start thinking, God, you the man. No matter what you say, it can be done because we riding with you. Are y'all with me? So here we are. They go home. We ain't got but 10,000 left. And then, can we use Bishop as a leader? Show you how God be working sometimes. God will say to me, say, look here. You was expecting everybody that's a member here to be here that Sunday, and don't nobody show up about 5. The 5 committed ones. It wasn't the rest of them didn't want to come. Because I really, if I could really get to the back end of this story, It's not that they didn't want to. They just didn't see what Gideon saw. They didn't hear what Gideon heard God say. Watch what God says to him, saints. He says to him through the angel when he first meets him, saying, hey, highly favored man of God. Watch what we say. Well, if I'm the highly favored man of God, how come these Midianites coming and taking our stuff? Because you let them. Y'all missed it. You let them take your stuff because you forsook me. Preach God. See, that's how the enemy starts to take your stuff. When we stop praying to God and stop seeking God, then the enemy has free reign over us. Can I talk to somebody that their child ain't doing right? The reason why your child ain't doing right, you stop interceding for your child. You quit telling God, that's your child, God. Handle him. And believing it. And every time God starts handling him or letting circumstances come into his or her life, you started intervening. Stay home, mamas. I'm talking to my sister now, Griffin. Stay home, mamas. Stay home. Can I talk to somebody else? See, because I had to realize some stuff. Every time you give them to God and then you go and get in the way, God's, whoa, wait a minute now. Let me hasten. Here we go. He told me I still got too many. There remain 10,000. Verse number 4 say, I'm not going to let you mess this up, Bishop. Y'all heard me? I'm not going to let you mess this up. So here's what I'm going to do to help you. All I want you to do is take them to the water. That's all I need you to do. Take them to the, watch this. Can I help somebody? When they were young, thank you, Peaches. When they were young, all I need you to do is take them to church. That's all I need you to do, Peaches. Take them to church. I got them. You train up, preach God. Train up a child. Y'all deal with the rest of that stuff when you get a chance. Deal with the rest of it, because see, some of y'all saying, well, I brought them to church, but they ain't never. When you got home, you was talking about people like a dog in the church. Oh, I'm equal opportunity. I'm equal opportunity. Can I tell on myself? See, me and Elaine and Kim. Yeah, I'm bringing you in. Me, Elaine, and Kim. I put me first. We used to get home, we used to talk about how people shouted. I was almost like Shirley Caesar one time. Hard-headed, didn't want to go to church, telling my mama, I want to go around to Daddy Joe's house. She said, well, Papa, you be back here by the time the preacher getting up to preach now. The best wisdom I ever received. Be back to church. I didn't need all the fluff. I needed the word. Lord help me. Elder Wesley Servants was preaching so, Sister Chadwell, Brother Chadwell, one Sunday. I confessed to God, Griffin. See, that's why I got to preach hard. I said, God, if you don't make him stop preaching, I'm going to have to get saved. You know what God did? You know what God did, Nick? The man looked like he went in another gear. Yeah, he was preaching so hard. I thought he was preaching hard then until I said, God, if you don't make him stop preaching, I got to get saved. Oh, you want to play Howard Williams? Preach hard. Watch it. I'm going to try them. How many of us is going to let God try the people with us? Is that all right? I told you had too many friends. Let God try them. If God tried them, you ain't even, watch this, you don't even have to, we've seen so thus far, have we not, that God said you got too many. Then he told you what to say to them, and they left you. Watch this. You want to know who your real friends are? Tell them to come go to church with you. Watch what they'll say. Well, you know I got my own church. Anybody? But they want you to come to their church, but they don't ever want to come to you, to your church. And secondly, what you got to understand is you at your church, so you don't know if they went to church or not. Am I making sense? So here we are. God said, bring them down to the water. Bring them to the church. Watch this. Some people, God going to try them how they going to drink the message. Can I say that again? God is going to try them how they drink the message. You know, this message started out being what kind of dog you got. And now it has evolved and is you got too much. And what we need to look at from the too much is some people will drink too much water. Did you know that people can drink too much water and almost die? But if you learn how to do it appropriately, watch the way the dog people did it. The dog people got low, but they drunk it out of their hand. Did you see the posture? Now I can see what's in front of me. Now I can be vigilant. See, that's what God is looking for out of us, that we be what? Vigilant. That we are watching. Watch what he said. Watch and what? Pray. But some of your friends get out and act like a horse. Put their whole head down. I heard a story about some people were going to witness. They were doing the right thing down in Miami. And they closed their eyes to pray. Lord help them. And when they did, somebody hit them upside the head and took their pocketbooks. Well, what are you doing with a pocketbook witnessing? Out of that, God said, I don't want you to choose which ones because you chose the majority. 300 were left. God said, now I'm just about ready to do what I got to do, but I got to fix Williams. I'll use me. I got to fix Williams. Now, because see, can I talk for just a second? I'm almost done, but can I talk for just a second? Because now I'm saying, well, God, wait a minute. We had 22,000. And now you got me down to 300. How are we going to win? Watch what God is saying to you today. If we look down at I believe it's verse number 13. The Bible says, verse number 12, but we're going to 13. And when Gideon was come down, behold, there was a man who told a dream unto his fellow and said, behold, I dream what? A dream. And lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of the Midians and came unto a tent, and he smote it that it fell and overturned it. And that tent lay alone. Can I decipher that scripture for you? Who is the hero of this text? Is who? Gideon. What was Gideon doing when God called him? A task that seemed like was irrelevant. He was making bread. Notice what the text said. The man said, I had a dream that it was a cake. What are you doing? Preach God. What are you doing? Whatever you're doing, God has you doing it. And when you do what God tells you to do, God will make it a success. Here's the dream. Lord, you took me down to 300 men. I didn't believe we could win. You took all my best people. And now I ain't got but 300. Watch this. Lord, I don't have but maybe 25 members. But Lord, if you gave me them 25, we could do great exploits with the 25. Y'all not talking to me. Here we are. 14 said, and his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joab. Now, wait a minute. How he know all this? Did y'all ever see? Sometimes you got to read the Bible and say, well, how he knew that? Who is this man? He's a Midianite. What would he know? He know his daddy. How many of y'all know? Sometimes you go places, you don't know nobody's daddy, do you? You don't even know who the man is. Here's the man interpreting a dream. The only way you can interpret a dream is by God. God set Bishop up. Watch this. I got to go to the house, but watch this. God told me one morning on 23rd Street, he said, I got people thinking about you that you don't even know. Can I talk to you all? And if he got people thinking about me, he got them thinking about you all. God is not a respecter of persons. How many of you, be honest, how many of you feel sometimes you're the only one? That's me. Lord, watch it. Lord, me and me alone is the only one that serving you. Listen, be honest with yourself. Lord, I've been praying. Nobody else ain't praying but me. And watch what God tells his main man, Elijah. Man, I got people they never bowed to Baal. As a matter of fact, they were praying for you. Here we go. I got to go to the house. Here we go. Then Gideon comes out with power. God has showed him, you're not the only one. God has reduced the army to 300. Now God equips him with knowledge on how to win with 300. Watch what he does. He good to go now. And watch what God tells him. And sometimes, see, I told y'all you had too many friends, but you got to have the right friend. Because see, that's what God tells him. Say, if you scared to go with your servant. The one that was with you when you tore down the altar. The one that was with you and followed your every command. Go down with him. Hear what they saying about you. Watch this. How many of us would believe that God has already gave you the victory? He told you to go. You went. But you were still a little skeptical because you had never done this way before. But you trusted God to go. Listen, some of y'all trusting God. Come on, Sister Sheffield. You trusted God to come over here with that crazy bishop. And now we're enjoying God together. And now all I need y'all to do, and I'm going to shut the book, else I'll be on preach to tomorrow with the same subject. But now all I need y'all to do is get a trumpet in your hand and a torch and put it in a clay vessel until you do like I do. I wish y'all would read this because what he says is, don't do nothing till I do it. Watch me. And why is he saying watch me? Because I got the direction from him. And so they divide up into threes, Griffin, outnumbered. But watch God work. When you see me break my pitcher, blow the trumpet and say, the hand of the Lord and of Gilead. That's what we need to be saying. I told you you had too many, so now I got to break it down. You had too much. Some of us can't get it right because we got too much. Some of us can't walk right because we're so concerned about what's behind us. Some of us can't do what God has called us to do because we're too intellectual. God certainly wouldn't do it that way. When are we going to trust God? I told you had too much. Charlie, God spoiled me. Anybody else in his spoil? God has spoiled all us. Watch this. You don't live in Ukraine where the bombs falling down out the sky. We thought it was bad when they were talking about they're going to hang some African Americans. But did they hang you? Because the hand of the Lord was what? With you. Watch this. Can I just talk to a couple of people? Listen, a left turn or a right turn. God say waver neither to the left, not to the right. But go step by step forward. Knowing that he is God. You got too much. One more thing and I'm out of here. Some of y'all got too much talent. Well, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? You got too much talent. See, when you got too much talent, you don't know which profession to go. You all over everywhere. But when you let God guide your talent, he'll put you on the straight and narrow. I'm done. Anybody got too much? Watch this. The average person that has too much say, I need more. Give me more, God. Can I prove it? Bishop called himself gonna cut yards. Is that all right? Bishop, you got a retirement. Bishop, you got too much. Bishop, you work for Baptist South. Bishop, when you gonna have time for God, Bishop? You in the hospital. And watch how Bishop try to make that thing right. God, I'm doing your work. What God say? Did I ask you to do that? See, am I in somebody's house? You said, but God, I'm doing your work. God said, you looking out for your pocketbook. I told you, he said you got too much money. Watch this. Okay. See, I have to bring this thing on back to the house. God said, what do you need a full-time job for, Bishop? Full-time work is at church. I said, well, God, I need a new Mercedes. You know what God said to me? For what? That BMW riding just as nice as it was when you got it. But God, that's old now. But I'm going to tell God what? Anytime you start talking about you got too much. Watch this. Can I talk to you all? God said, I tell you what I'm going to do for you. I told you adversity comes before the victory. Watch what God allowed to happen because I was complaining. I got rear-ended. Y'all see that truck out there? That's a big truck, ain't it? That big truck was folded up. I thought somebody threw a bomb in the truck. Are y'all with me? God bless me. He blessed me. Not with lots of money. He blessed me. I could still go play golf on Fridays. He blessed me. I'm not racking in pain. He blessed me that y'all not having my funeral. He blessed me to be a blessing to us. There's something in the offering today. And guess what I had to pray and ask God to do? I had to pray and ask God, don't let me take from you. Help me to give you everything I'm supposed to give you. Can I talk about we got too much sometimes? Sometimes we have too much money and we don't want to give God his money. Can I talk to the people that don't tithe? Keep right on. It's your money. Keep right on. God will take, watch this. You mess around and you got to pay this bill. You got to pay that bill. God is a smooth operator. Y'all thought Sade sung that, didn't you? Smooth operator. God is a smooth operator. God will do whatever is necessary to get you to do what he wants you to do. How you know, Bishop? Well, I got my hand popped a couple of times. Don't get caught by God. It's two things you can't get away from God with. Your health and your mind. God can control your mind and your health. And if you don't do right by God, it's at his disposal to find out. You got what? Too many. Can I close with this? You got too many excuses. For those of you at home, we pray that we said something that might encourage you to do right by God, because God is going. Listen, there's a statement in the book that says, God reigns on the righteous and the unrighteous the same. The sun shines for people that don't do right by God. He let it shine. So when they get to heaven or they see him face to face, they won't be able to say, but God, you wasn't fair. Because he is always fair. May God bless you all. We'll be here Tuesday night. Well, but if you weren't on here Tuesday night, you missed a treat. But guess what? I'm in training. I'm talking with the media specialists that are going to train me how not to just have the voice, but to have the picture and the voice. I take full responsibility for it. May God bless you and may heaven smile upon you. Amen. For those of us that are still here. First Sunday, correct? We always do what on first Sunday? Communion. We are going to ask Sister